Hey everyone, welcome back to Contractor Growth Network. I'm Logan.
And I'm Chris Livingston.
And today we're talking about, it's going to be kind of a rough episode. Chris doesn't even know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm a little excited and also just excited, I guess.
But if you have kids in the room, go ahead and take them out of the room.
Oh, is that serious, huh?
Is that serious? Here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the problem with every fucking entrepreneur out there. At some point, everybody deals with paralysis by analysis. And let me walk through what that first off means and then what the effects are. Paralysis by analysis is when you are paralyzed by looking at different options, thinking too much. Essentially, what you're trying to do is you're trying to justify to yourself, is this a good move? Yes or no? And you're stuck. And you don't make any move at all. And here's how it manifests. I am in various contractor groups, and I see the same people keep popping up over and over and over. And when I say over and over and over, I don't mean day in, day out. I mean month in, month out, year in, year out, asking, hey, how's this working for people? Hey, how's that working for people? I had a dude hit me up today that I talked to in November of 2018. It is March of 2021, 2.5 years, saying, hey, I'm ready to talk to you about a website. And I'm thinking, okay, where was I in December of 2018? That was the end of my first full year. Yeah. Okay. And just to back up, I'm a big action taker, right? That's like one of my personal core values is action oriented. And I remember at the end of that year, 2018, first full year in business, we did $338,000 in total revenue. Okay. Fast forward to 2021, our goal this year is 2.5 million. So if you look at the difference in 2.5 years of where, or let's say it'll be 3 full years going from 338 to 2.5 million compared to what I see a lot of times of I need help, I need this, I need that. And they do this for fucking years. Yeah. Not a little bit of paralysis by analysis, but fucking years. Now, had that person back in 2018 said, fuck it, let's go, where do you think they would be right now?
I mean, to answer the question where they would be right now, there would be a hell of a lot different reality for them. They wouldn't be asking the same questions over and over again. What I hear from what you just said that kind of gets to me is just make a decision. Like, make a decision and let's go for it. Like, if it makes sense to you, like, what do you, I guess the kids aren't in the room anymore. Like, what are you pussyfooting around? Like, why are you doing this?
And even if it doesn't, right? I hear this all the time. There's a dude in one of the groups that he was saying like, yeah, I think I got like a $10,000 website from a guy who was underpriced and I only got it for $3,000. And I remember reading that and being like, you know what? This is the fucking company that you align yourself with.
Yeah.
Right? You are a business owner. You're not a charity. You're a business owner. And when you go, oh man, I got a great deal on this, or oh, this or that. Well, guess what? Now you are a bargain shopper.
Yeah.
And that is who you attract. You are a direct reflection of not only the people that you surround yourself with, but also the companies that you align with. If you operate your whole business off of, I don't know, fucking like Chromebook, because it's a $400 laptop versus saying, screw it, we're just going to do Apple. Well, you are aligning with the bargain side of laptops versus saying, fuck it, we're going to spend $1,400 on an Apple. So when you then come back and go, well, I don't know why it's not working, I can't do it. You're stuck in the same fucking place for 2.5 years because you align yourself with shit. And when you align yourself with shit, that's who you become. That's what happens. So I see the same people popping up in these groups every fucking year asking for the same stuff. Hey, how do I do this? Hey, I'm finally thinking about wrapping my truck, pros and cons. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? You have been asking this question. You've been in business for like 10 fucking years. How do you not have your truck wrapped? And what are you really, pros and cons? Chris, what's the con of getting your truck wrapped? You can't speed.
Yeah.
And
you have to.
And if you're going to fucking kidnap a kid, it's going to be easier to identify you because it's not just license plate. Now it's a truck wrap as well. Those are the two reasons that you don't get your truck wrapped. If you're either an avid speeder or an avid child abductor.
Yeah.
Like other than that, get your fucking truck wrapped. Stop overthinking a lot of this shit because humans, we are resilient. You make the most of any situation that you're in. Yet we all go, well, I don't know if I want, periwinkle or light blue or seafoam. What the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
Make a decision, lean into it because you will figure it out. If Chris became homeless right now, if I said, Chris, I'm taking everything away from you, would you die?
No.
Why?
I figured it the fuck out.
You'd figure it the fuck out. So why does everybody do this when it comes to business? Oh, I've only got 30 grand in the bank account. Great. Okay. Well, what bills do you have to pay? Well, not many, but I need that as a cushion. A cushion for what? You don't make any money.
Yeah.
You don't make any money. So you don't really have bills because you've never had a bill. Spend something on something. I used to do this with myself with money I had in the bank account where what I would do is I had a lot of cash sitting there. And when I say a lot of cash, it's like 40 grand in cash in my personal. And I had that as a security piece because I would go, you know what? This is great. If anything ever happens, I have 40 grand just sitting there. Well, guess what? I have yet to find myself in a situation where I have to immediately drop $40,000 in cash because I have access to credit. I can loan money from friends or family. I've got mediums there. So what do? I say, fuck it. Let me just put that money into something that's going to make me money. And I just took that and I either reinvested back in the business or I put it in the stock market. Last year, I made a couple $100,000 by doing nothing in the stock market because it just grows and grows and grows by me not doing anything. Now, had I sat on that,
sat on that $40,000 in your bank account, how much does it grow? Shit.
Nothing, 0.01%. And I'm not saying the 40,000 turned into a couple hundred, but it's I take the extra money that I have and I invest it into something that's going to provide this generational wealth that everybody talks about. Well, great. You're going to be in your fourth generation before you actually start to make money.
Because you're not going to make any fucking decisions.
And the thing about all this is I hear this all the time. Well, it's not responsible to my family. I can't spend that money. That's not responsible to my family. You know what's not responsible to your family? Living just above the poverty line. What the fuck kind of upbringing is that? That is not responsible at all. Yet you mask to yourself, well, I've got this little nest egg. It's not a nest egg. That shit, it's embarrassing. So you really have two options here. Either stop complaining about not getting the right work or not this or bitching about customers and stuff like that. Because guys, this is not just contractors. This is every fucking business owner. And there's a reason the rich keep getting richer.
And I like that way you phrased it about you just figure it out. Because straight up, my biggest purchase that I made pretty recently where I'm thinking to myself, fuck, how am I actually, obviously the house, but that's on a loan. But when actually paying for a ring, $26,000 for a ring, when it's all said and done, thinking to myself, fuck, that's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, you buy a $26,000 engagement ring and you just figure it out. That's what I recognize. You just figure it out. I had the money in my account. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that in my mind, there's pretty much three ways I'm going to spend this money. It's either I'm going to spend the money on the engagement ring, spend the money on a honeymoon, or spend money on the wedding. All right. Traditionally, I don't really give a fuck about having a big, crazy wedding. I want to have the party, but the wedding itself, I really don't care about. That's on Megan, and she's okay with not having a crazy wedding. All right. The honeymoon, I've traveled quite a bit. I love travel. We'll continue to travel. I understand that. So if I want to spend $26,000 on an engagement ring, the money's spent. The money's well spent. The money, I'm figuring it the fuck out, and it's okay. People around me, even my mom including, she was saying, well, hey, I don't know about that. But I'm able to say, look, you know what I didn't get to have? I didn't get to have a situation where I was able to get my great grandmother's ring to be able to, have this happen. I want to spend money on something where my great granddaughter is able to say, you know what? It doesn't really matter how much Johnny, the guy I want to marry, makes. I'm still going to have an amazing ring because my great granddad did that for us. That meant something to me. And I figured it the fuck out. I made a decision. I could have gone back and forth of oh, should I buy it here or should I buy it there or whatever it may be. I just made the decision and now things are fine. I get so frustrated about the idea of it's okay to fail. And I think that's what people I don't know this to be true, but I imagine those who are stuck in this analysis paralysis is because yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of decisions out there to make, but they're scared they're gonna make the wrong one. But the reality is wrong is subjective in that way. It's a judgment, right? So the wrong decision means, hey, how about if I make this decision work? And that's what it's all about. Like, make a freaking decision and make that decision work for you. And if it doesn't happen to work for you right now, then you continue to adjust. Like our entire business, what is it? We just make a decision, we adjust. Make a decision, we adjust. Make a decision, we adjust. If you were doing the same thing that you were doing 3 months ago, we wouldn't be on the same path. 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't be on the same path. You know, legitimately a month ago, we didn't have 2 marketing people. Sorry, 2 media people, right? So will we have 2 media people now? And that's why we're going now to, a podcast a day. Like that was not in line with what we were doing 2 months ago. But we had to make that decision to get to where we are now. So I recognize that frustration, man. Like it's really easy just to think back to people, especially as we come into a new season and someone's telling me, oh, I talked to them last November and they were upset with the way things went that year. And now it's March and we're not doing anything differently to make sure that this situation is different. Or, hey, now I'm spending like $300 on SEO per month. Okay, what is that going to do for you? Like, what's the deliverables for that? Okay, elephant in the room. Why the hell are you spending money outside of going forward with doing what works? Like what there's guarantees behind, what is proven. Like, why are you doing that? Why aren't you just making the decision to say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and look at a marketing package, a website as a tool to invest in my company, and I'm going to make the decision. So I totally get it. And I think that as an entrepreneur, you have to think about the fact that you don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to make a damn sure commitment that you're gonna make a decision on something because at the end of the day, if you sit there and do nothing, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And if you're not getting better, then you're fucking getting worse. And if you're sitting there stagnant, you're getting worse. And you're not making a decision, like you have let time go by, not allowing yourself to do the right thing. So make a decision, recognize you will adjust to whatever decision you make and make the best decision that you can make right now.
Yeah, and I don't understand the whole rationale of not aligning yourself with the best. Like you think about like the podcast and the stuff that you listen to maybe in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I have a very structured routine every morning.
I've been listening to you guys for weeks, and I know it's the right thing to do.
But you're right. I'm gonna wait till next year. What are you gonna wait for? Well, I just don't have the finances right now. Well, what do you mean you don't have the finances right now? Well, I've only got X amount in the bank and I can't figure out how to get any more. Oh, you can't figure out how to get any more? Or do you not believe in yourself? Because that's what it comes down to. If you truly knew that every lottery ticket that you bought was going to be a winner, how many lottery tickets would you buy? Every fucking one.
Yeah.
Everybody is so up in arms about, or so pumped. Oh, should I invest in GameStop stock? Should I invest in Hertz? Should I invest in AMC? No, you know what you should do? Invest in your fucking company.
Yeah.
Invest in the thing that you actually like bleed for, or you say you bleed for. Because I think most people, they say it. I put a post out and I said, in business, do you play offense or defense? And I said, offense means that you're going out and you're getting it and you're very abundance mindset. Defense is you're just trying to hold down what's yours, build up a small little nest egg, and that's it. And everybody who would come out and said, oh, I play offense, I bleed for my company and my family every day. And I'll say, great. Give me one specific thing that you did that represents offense. And nobody responded to that because everybody puts themselves in this, I'm offense, I do this, I do that. Well, if you're offense, why do you make $40,000 a year? You could be offense somewhere else.
You offense at Home Depot.
Yeah. And like, you know, I've had other people like talk about, well, it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. I get the freedom side of things, but at certain point, like open up a fucking, a nonprofit. Just restructure your stuff to become a nonprofit because that's what you are. You don't make profit. So you might as well get the tax benefits of being a nonprofit. Like it's just, it baffles me because look, I get it. Like I get that I'm in this position of growth because I surround myself with companies, with people, with organizations that are all about growth as well. But there's a reason that what I did 2.5 years ago in total revenue is less than where we're at right now, couple months into the year. It's not by happenstance. It's because I made a fucking choice that this is what I want. And if all you want to do is make 40 grand a year and run around all day doing shit, well, that's on you. But you wouldn't be listening to this fucking podcast if that was actually what you wanted. And the problem is everybody thinks it's hard. Well, what if I make a mistake? What if I do this? You figure it, drive Uber. If you really don't think that, that you have the money, figure out a way to make the money because again, the rich are getting richer. In real estate, you just have to have enough to play. And once you're in the game, it just gets easier and easier and easier. Chris, let's say you had to make $1 million. If Chris had $1 million that he had to make versus somebody who is worth $1 billion that he had to make, who is more likely to make the $1 million?
The billionaire.
All the billionaire has to do is let's just say, take the $1 billion, put it in the S&P 500 or the stock market, and it averages historically 10% each year.
Or even leverage your resources, leverage your friend groups, leverage all the things you got.
All this stuff, guys. It's just so much at your fingertips that you're so afraid of making a mistake in the grand scheme of things. You're talking about, I want to grow from 500 grand to $3 million in a year. Okay, well, this thing, if you want to help, if you want to grow, this is what it's going to cost. Oh, I don't have that money. How the fuck?
Yeah. So what you're saying right now is you want to be able to get there, but you were hoping not to pay for it. Like straight up, like you were like not just pay for it in the sense of like monetarily, but you were hoping not to pay for it. Like you were hoping that you were going to get to where you wanted to go without putting effort, investing in yourself. Like what were you thinking? Like that's at that point, that's just a bullshit dream. Like it's
not even a dream, it's a wish.
Yeah, it's a wish. It's a wish at that point. Like, okay, straight up. Last year, how much money did you invest in yourself and in your business?
105.
$105,000.
$105,000.
All right. Last year, what was the company's revenue?
Just over $1 million.
All right. So you spent 10% of the company's revenue in investing in yourself and in the business.
And this is not even, when I say investing in myself, these are like programs that like help me like think differently and act differently. This is not even talking about how much we spend on marketing or ads or hiring people that aren't revenue generating people. Right? Like that's the difference here, because if you actually break down, because most people say, well, my advertising, my marketing spend, I do 5% of my total revenue. Great. I mean, if I ran the numbers on our stuff, we're easily, we've got, we're probably closer to like 25%.
25% of your revenue is going straight to marketing.
Yeah. Like growth. Let's fucking go. Because guess what? It's not who you know, it's who knows you. It's all about people understanding who you are, because the issue is it's not that your product isn't good. It's not that you're not a good person. It's that nobody knows you fucking exist. No, like how is somebody supposed to buy from you if they don't know that you're even in existence? They can't. Yet you get frustrated when people call you up and say, oh, well, that's just too much money. Well, yeah, it's too much money because you're a fucking stranger to them. They don't trust you. They think that you're going to scam them.
Or they make this stupid comment, oh, that's a Nordstrom's, or some people can't afford Nordstrom's.
Yeah, like, there was more context to that one.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the thing is, well, Nordstrom's got a fucking brand, homie.
Yeah.
Like Nordstrom's has a brand, and the thing is, you know who Nordstrom is. So yes, I can go to Nordstrom's and spend that kind of money. I have confidence in them. I have confidence they're going to be able to solve my fucking problem of just dressing like a bum like I am right now. Like it's frustrating because the frustration manifests in them as well. It manifests in contractors because they're frustrated that they can't get, people are beating them up over their prices, but they haven't even invested in themselves. They're not even willing to pay the price to be $1 million company. They're not willing to pay the price to be able to sustain crews and not have to lay them off. They're not willing to pay the price to make sure that people actually know who they are. Pay the price sometimes means money. Pay the price sometimes means simply posting on fucking Facebook. Paying the price means stop caring what someone else on Facebook is going to think about you and just post. Stop caring if you have the right idea of what it is and just post. Paying the price means actually putting out flyers. Paying the price means actually getting your truck wrapped. Paying the price means waking up and actually caring enough about your business to know your numbers, to not be thinking about, oh, if someone asks you, what's your gross profit margin on a job, that you can't, within 15 minutes, let them know the information to that. Either I got to take 15 minutes to open up my computer to look on my QuickBooks or my CRM to understand like that information, or I gotta pay the price to actually plan, pay the price to actually execute. Like, if you want to be better, you got to pay the price. Sometimes that's money, but most of the time, all monetary money is just energy, what I value. And so you got to pay the price. And if you sit there and do nothing, you're not paying the price. You're fooling yourself. It feels good, maybe. It feels good maybe to ask somebody if I should do this, if I should do that. Looking for someone to give me the silver bullet. It feels good, but that's not paying the price. I would ask anybody right now still listening to this, what price am I willing to pay to get to where I want to go? Like, what price am I really willing to pay? I can tell you right now that I want to work out all the time, but if I'm not willing to pay the price of getting to the gym, or pay the price of waking my ass up, or pay the price of making sure that I have breakfast made at night so that I can be able to eat it in the morning and so I can get up, setting the alarm, making it, putting the alarm in another room to pay the price to actually get to where I want to go, then I don't want it. It's a wish. And at some point, someone's going to stop listening to me. Hey, Megan. Hey, Logan. I want to get back. When I was a Ranger, dude, I used to be X, Y, and Z. Like, I want to get back there. Well, what price are you paying, Chris? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, what actions are you taking? Not what you're thinking about doing. What actions are you actually taking to actually get to where you want to go? It's not that hard. It's like, it's not, what's not easy is actually doing it. Like, what to actually get from point A to point B, the roadmap, it's easy. Like, it's easy to know if I want to get from San Diego to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I take a eastbound interstate, maybe a south or northbound interstate to get there. It's not that hard to think about, but it's the price that you got to pay in order to get there. That's the hard part. Are you willing to actually pay that price? And so, sitting down right now, I challenge you to make a decision today. Stop making any I don't knows, or let me think about it, or when the time is right. Pay the price today. Make an action that is actually going to give you the business that you want and that you deserve, but not just the business that you just, that's just a hopeful, wishful situation. Because if you aren't putting in work, you don't deserve it. You simply just don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go into entrepreneurship because what they say is, well, I don't work well for other people. Bro, there's a big difference between being an entrepreneur and simply not working well for other people.
Being a bad employee.
Like, that's just like a lack of being okay with authority, but that doesn't automatically make you a fucking entrepreneur. There's a difference between an entrepreneur and being entrepreneurial. Being an entrepreneur means that you technically own a business. You, the people that sell fucking Plexus soda online, the people that, run pyramid schemes, those are technically entrepreneurs too. Yeah. Entrepreneurial means that you understand the business behind everything that you're doing and you're able to make savvy decisions. So I would think most people, they're entrepreneurs, but they're not actually entrepreneurial. And there's so many times that, like, I will read some of the response, like, because yes, I get that I'm polarizing. And I get that I put stuff out there, but it's typically the people that respond the quickest with the most information are typically the people that have the most time on their hands. And there's so many times that I think I'm like, give me like a glass of wine or two, that I just want to respond with like, okay, prove your point. Take a picture of your bank account and attach it to your next comment. And then we'll see who is more valid in this response. Because there's a lot of fucking keyboard warriors out there that talk shit about all this stuff. Yet, when you actually said, okay, great, you think you have the answer for it? Let me see what you have done for your business over the past 3 years. Let me see what you've done in the past 3 weeks. And then we can decide whose answer has more validity behind it. And I'm not saying that I'm like the fucking greatest thing, And I understand that, but I'm also not going to unnecessarily challenge people that are above me. Now, if I don't understand it, I'm gonna seek to understand. But the way that some people go, they just like, they tell you what they think, and I'm like, bro, like, I know why you think that, because you've never had, like, you're not a fucking salesman, bro. Like, you're just not. Like, there was a dude that used to be in one of the groups, and like, he was always the fastest one to fucking respond to stuff. Oh, you should say this. Oh, you should say that. You should say that. And then he finally came out and said, yeah, last year I sold 2 out of 81 leads. That is a close percent of like 2%, 2.5%. How, like, that should be like, God, imagine a world like that where if everybody who decided to give you advice had to back it up with their credentials. Now, if I ask you a question about how to properly install crown molding, I'm not going to give you the answer because I have no fucking clue. Now, if you're really good at crown molding and it's a crown molding question, great, I'll listen to you. But if it's a business question or a sales question or this question or that question, and you don't have that backing, don't respond with what you could have done or what should have been done or what you heard somebody else successful do. Either A, say what you've done in your experience, or B, shut the fuck up.
Or go do what you think you need to be doing yourself so that you can be able to be valid in that response.
So here's how Chris came to be at CGM. Chris used to work at Qdoba, as you know, and he was frustrated with leadership there. And I said, Chris, I got an option for you. Why don't you come here? You have all these ideas of how stuff should be done. Why don't you come here? It'll be a commission role, and you can take all these great communication ideas and see if there's validity behind it. And you did it. Whether you came here and you tried for 3 months and it didn't work, or you're in this position now where you're the fucking director of sales and you've got a team under you, either way, you at least tried the waters. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with people that are like, Logan, like, I don't know, man. I'm going to fucking jump in and give this thing a shot. Like, that's a hell of a lot better than just sitting on the sidelines thinking of all the reasons why it won't work. And that's like the one thing that I'm so fortunate with my parents that they instilled in me was that it's not about the result. It's all about the process. So as long as you're jumping in and you're trying this stuff and you're actually like pushing forward, you will learn. I put a post out yesterday that I was talking about. I was like, look, ever since I changed like making money, let's just take that. I put it in quotes, making money. Making money to me it's not a verb anymore. It's just straight up, it's just who I am. It's just an identity, right? Like I love money. Like I thought about it last night, like I'm very into money. Because to me, it's not about what money can buy. It's about the game of acquiring money. I love it. It's fucking invigorating. And somebody said, like, how did you get that identity? And I was like, you know what? It's because I started investing in myself, investing in these things. And what I realized was what I thought these programs were going to be, it actually was not that. I thought one was going to be very hand-holding. It wasn't. I thought another one, they were going to essentially do everything for you. They didn't. But guess what? I learned during that how to actually get a lot of ROI out of those programs. And because of that, I learned how to monetize what I learned in those programs. So now I have this full belief that you put me in any program, whether it's relevant to me or if it's something totally irrelevant, how to fucking, brush teeth. I could somehow figure out a way to monetize that shit. I'll never be broke. I'll never be poor. Straight up, because I know what I'm capable of because I go into these different programs that aren't what I think they're going to be, but I still figure it out. And I'm still, everybody, oh, man in the arena, you can't judge till you're man in the arena. No, you're the fucking wimp in the arena. You lay down and yes, you're technically in the arena because you're an entrepreneur, but you've done nothing. You're just like this very scrawny person just laying there thinking like, well, I'm technically in the arena. Yeah, technically. You technically own a business, but do you really, or are you surviving? And that's all you're doing.
And I think it's just about being accountable to yourself. I think that it's really easy. We all get frustrated when someone challenges us. Sometimes I get frustrated when Megan says something to me that's like along the lines of, are you going to pick those clothes up? Or it's like, I know I should have had those clothes picked up. But it's frustrating because someone's like challenging me. Someone's keeping me accountable. Like someone's just telling me what I know I need to be doing. So right now, what we're saying is not something that you know differently than what you need to be doing. It's like, you know that you need to put money into your business. So you got to, like, how does that happen? You got to freaking raise your prices. Like, the whole idea of 50% gross profit margin, it doesn't just because it sounds good or whatever, but it gives you the opportunity to really be a business. If you don't have those kind of margins, you can't really be a business because you can't invest in yourself. You can't put money back into the business. You can't hire good people. You can't take care of yourself, or you have a certain bit of steam, being able to have, money in your pocket, going on vacations every once in a while. You can't do those things. So if you're not doing those, it's not because it just sounds good. There's a reason behind it. And you got to keep yourself accountable to that. And so if you're going to go out there, like for me, when I decided I want to leave Qdoba, I realized, you know what? I came here for a reason. I came here because of the fact was, middle of a pandemic, I wanted to build something up. I knew that I had the ability to. I wanted to build a team. They told me, hey, before I got to Qdoba, they had to close Qdoba down because they were in the red. So I was like, you know what? I want to come there and I want to be able to build up that team. So I built up. So I started out with me and 2 other employees, had to hire everybody, had to train everybody, had to establish a culture there, had to do all those things. All right. Then I got them back in the black. We're making money right now. All right. That's what my job was to make them money. So we're making money right now. And then I was getting pushback on things that I knew they weren't willing to invest in themselves. They were saying, well, hey, our catering sales are down from last year. But I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing right now? All right. Schools are half in right now. Are we going to those schools because they don't have cafeterias open? Are we going to those schools and allowing for us to have an opportunity that's different than we were used to? Are we going to, customers were complaining because we didn't have tamper-proof bags. Well, industry-wide, they had tamper-proof bags, or at least a lot, the big names did. So are we going to get tamper-proof bags? Are we going to spend 19 cents per bag versus the 3 cents per bag we're spending right now? Are we going to invest in ourselves so that we can be able to increase our customer experience? Are we going to do that, or no, we're not going to? So when I kept giving them ideas about how we can make money and they weren't willing to invest in themselves, though I had got them into the black, I'm thinking to myself, you guys are making money right now. The goal is not just to make money. The goal was to make more money. The goal was to be able to not just survive, but thrive. Well, you got to invest back in your company. And I was frustrated, man. I came to you. I remember coming to you saying, man, hey, I am frustrated. The leadership just doesn't want to grow. They don't want to. They don't have a problem. They're okay with where they're at right now. And they don't want to grow. And that's frustrating to me. And so I realized, hey, at some point, this is my life. I got to stop just complaining about stuff. I got to figure something out. There's an opportunity. I'm well, let's just take it. I didn't know what this was going to turn into. I was fully invested to go to grad school. That was my next step. That was my out of the military. You go to grad school, you figure something out, you pivot, and now you're part of a company because, you got your military experience and you got now, some credentials on your belt and, having a business degree, having a law degree, and you go take care of business. That's what I thought I was supposed to do. But I'm here now because I've made a decision. And who knows, maybe in freaking 3 weeks from now, I'm not here. All right. But the thing is, I'm going to make decisions. When something happens, I'm going to make a decision. I'm not going to just sit there and just let life happen to me. I refuse to do that because it doesn't make any sense. I deserve better. I deserve to have the control, at least to be people out there who are talking about, oh, the government can't make me do this. Government can't make me do that. But you sure as hell control yourself and put yourself in a box and don't allow yourself to grow. You don't give yourself freedom. You have to do things. You got to make actions. And that it's a lot more about action than it is about words. A lot more. And if you aren't doing that, then you lost it. And you got to take a reset. And you got to say to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm willing to spend a couple $1,000s to get a freaking life coach because I'm not where I want to be right here. And who knows if it's supposed to be exactly what I thought it was be more. But if it's going to bring me value, then let me just go ahead and sign up for it. You know what? And if I lose a couple $1,000s off of it, you know what? I got a learning experience from it, and I'm going to make that money back. I'm going to make that money back tenfold because I learned something from that. I'm investing in myself. If you invest in yourself, it's not a bad investment. If you're investing in yourself, it is not a bad investment because I count on me. I know that I'm going to win. No matter what, I'm going to win. I'll figure it out. I thank God for my ability to be able to be smart. I thank God for my ability to have a family. I thank God for my ability to be able to have my physical, well-being and whatnot. But regardless of what happens, I'm going to figure it out. Because that's a decision that I'm making every single day, that I'm not going to just stop. I'm not going to be submissive to an idea that this is not for me. I don't have imposter syndrome. I truly believe that I deserve to be where I am. Like everybody, I don't know if everybody does this, but I know that when I was growing up, I used to always hear the idea, you can be who you want to be. Like you can be who you want to be. When did that stop? When did that stop? Did that stop when you turned 25 years old? Did that stop after you left college and life hit you? Did that stop when you decided not to go to college? Did that stop because you couldn't go to college? Did that stop because you got into some job and you got someone pregnant, or you're pregnant? Or when did that stop? When did that stop being true, that you could be who you wanted to be? You can be who you want to be. It takes action. It takes effort, but it's true still. It's still a true statement. And if you lost that, man, you lost. I mean, to me, that's not living anymore. If I was living in a life where I thought that this is just, I gotta just be like who I am, who's given to me, like I'm like tearing up right now because this shit's real. Like I care. I can be who I truly want to be. I know I can. And you can be who you truly want to be. You can, but you got to put effort in. That's not going to happen by happenstance. No one's going to give it to you. Like it's sad because maybe you were nurtured too much as a child and you didn't realize you got to grow up one day. And you are on your, it is up to you. I won't say you're on your own because that's not true, but it is up to you. It's up to you to make those decisions. So if you're going to be who you want to be, then you got to act. If you want your business to be a $500,000 business, then ask yourself, what does $500,000 really mean to me? Okay, I want my business to be a $500,000 business because of the fact that I can be able to put $100,000 in my pocket. All right, well, so what you really want is you want $100,000 in your pocket. All right, so what am I going to do? What kind of efforts am I going to make to put $100,000 in my pocket? What am I going to do? Like, what actions am I going to take? What does that look like? And if you were silly enough to believe, I know we're going back to contractors, but if you're silly enough to believe that I can invest $300 a month in ad spend in my company for me to put $100,000 in my pocket, then I'm pretty silly. I'm pretty silly. Like the goal is always just to beat the stock market, because if you're not going to do anything at all, just put your money in the stock market. It's super simple. Just put your money in the stock market. If you're not going to make more than 10% return, just put your money in the stock market and stop doing the silly stuff that you're doing right now. But if I can actually get the return that I want, if I think that I actually can do that, I'm actually going to invest in myself, then I'm going to go invest. I'm going to spend some real money, some real time, some real energy, and I'm going to recognize, hey, how can I be most efficient with that energy? Chris, you know what? I don't know shit about writing blogs. It may take me 5 hours to write a blog. That's going to turn out to be a C-level blog, a D-level blog. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to invest in getting a blog made for me by someone who already is an A-level person. And then if I got to spend, I don't know, $1,000 on a blog, then I'm going to figure it out. How can I make sure that this is going to make me 10x what I'm doing right now? How can I do that? How can I make sure that I position it that way? All right, what else am I spending time on? Like, hey, I need to get a bookkeeper. How about you get a bookkeeper and then you figure out how to make enough money to make sure you can pay that bookkeeper? Like, how about you do that? How about you put that kind of pressure on yourself? Because you know what you can always do is you always can resort to, well, I'm going to bookkeep and I'm going to write blogs and I'm going to spend all this time doing the stuff that doesn't make any sense for me to do. And I'm just going to be okay with it. I'm going to keep myself busy and think that I'm working hard to do something, working hard to do nothing. Like at the end of the day, we talk about family here. Spend time with your family. That's what the goal is in all this situation. Spend time where you want to spend time doing it. That's what freedom actually is. Freedom doesn't just mean that you're working for no one. It's physically like under anyone's company name. Freedom means you're able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And if you tell me right now, hey, you know what? I can't hop on an hour-long phone call with you because I'm so busy. Well, what freedom do you have? You're a slave to running out to people's homes who aren't going to spend money on you. You're a slave to chasing an idea of, hey, someone's going to pay me this money, and maybe they won't, maybe they will. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but I'm frustrated. But I'm also optimistic.
So here's the takeaway from all this stuff, guys. Think about where you were 3 years ago. Because for as much as we're talking about look at the future, look at the past. Think about where you were 3 years ago and look at where you're at now. If you had a huge growth from 3 years ago until now, capitalize on it. Understand that that is just the beginning. Now, if you look back at 3 years ago and you're a little bit ahead, like it's funny, I look at like my dad's company, the pond company, and that was where I got my how much should you grow each year? Because each year he essentially added on like an extra like, I think it was like 15% growth each year. And it was just slow. It was steady. It was just a grind day in, day out. So I thought when I first came into business, okay, if I grow each year by, I don't know, 30%, that's fucking killing it because that was better than what he did. But then once I learned from other people, wow, that's fucking terrible. Like there was so much, you have so much more capacity than you give yourself credit for. All you have to do is fucking invest. And last year we doubled from the previous year. We're almost doubled. We got like, increased by like 85% because I learned this shit halfway through. This year, our goal is to increase by 150%. So if you 3 years ago were, small and now you're one step above small, it's not because of, the product that you give or the experience. It's because of your own fucking inaction and your own lack of belief in who you are and what you're capable of. So think about that. Understand that you cannot change the world and you cannot change your family. You cannot change the generations below you by making $50,000 a year. You just simply can't. There's nothing that you can do. You also can't do it making $300,000 a year. You need to make some real fucking money to actually be able to matter. Otherwise, what the fuck are you? You matter to 3 people, right? You matter to your wife and your 2 kids. Neat. But guess what happens when they pass? Because you're old. Your name gets forgotten, right? We all die twice. When you physically die and the last time that your name is ever said. So if you want to be one of those people that is going to die within the next 100 years, make 40 grand a year, make 50 grand a year, make 80 grand a year. But if you actually want to be somebody that changes stuff, actually impacts for generations to come, makes an impact on your city or your town that you grew up in, right? Makes an impact maybe on like the college that you went to, whoever it is or whatever it is that fucking made you who you are. If you want to give back to them, you can't do it by barely scraping by. We'll change your fucking life. It's not us doing all this stuff for you. We are not a business savior program. All we simply do is get you to unfuck yourself, figure out what people actually care about you for, and leverage the shit out of that. Because it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And then when they look at you, if they say, well, that looks like everybody else, guess what? They're not going to fucking go with you. But if they understand why you're doing what you're doing, they understand your thought process, they understand who you are identity-wise as a company and as a man.
And you know your own identity as well.
Then you're on your way. You are going to listen to this podcast in 3 years from now and go, yeah, remember that one time I was only making 75 grand a year and now I'm at 300 grand? It's all like I see the people that fucking day in and day out, week in, month in, year out, don't do anything, or they check the boxes. Well, I posted on Facebook and I didn't get a bunch of leads. Great.
Figure it out.
Figure it the fuck out. See you guys.